we were doing these demos. We did In the Sky, and we put they put The Real Thing as our producers, and that came out, and that was the beginning. And I think we had to do this. This is where I saw you. I think we had to do a party at Victor Lounge, the guy from Playboy. He had a party, and we had to play at his party. That Loose Ends was all the people that I met when I got to the first Loose Ends rehearsals. Marianne and Deborah and I think even Cheryl sang background vocals.
Yeah, because at one time she was doing that too, you know.
Yeah.
Because we were very fluid. You found that fashion mixed with music, mixed with acting, mixed with TV. So you were all in the same environment and mixed with dancers. And it's like, yeah, can you dance? Well, I can try. Can you sing? I can try. How much you paying? You know, that's how it was. Right.
So just moving the story along quickly, what happened was Steve, he was such a great musician, a great model. He was, I'd be talking to Steve, you know, and girls would literally walk up to Steve and give him their number and say, and walk off, call me. You don't know her? You know her, innit? He said, no, I don't know.
Never mind, don't know her. What, she can't see me standing here? What?
But I mean, I've never seen that before. Like, where I come from, we're hunting girls down. We're like, try and get the number, you know, try and chat her up. This guy's standing by the bar and they're just coming over to him.
Call me.
Yeah, call me. I'm walking off, you know, I'll be like, wow, Steve, you don't know that girl? No, I don't know her. And he'd be looking at the number, trying to work out where she lives. This guy, he was, anyway.
Exactly, moving along.
He had so much going for him. And I used to look up to him seriously. He was, I think he played trumpet at first, right? So the trumpet thing wasn't no joke. He could sight read on trumpet. Like, you know, you could put the music there and he was like,
very gifted, very, very gifted. Very gifted.
Yeah,
you know.
So then he signs to Virgin, and he was the leader of the group. So he signs to Virgin, and then as he signs, he actually goes on tour with the Jam. So when this is amazing to us, we're like, who does that? Who signs to a record label and then goes off on like a mega rock band tour? And basically, in that time where he was away, because at the beginning, I wasn't a singer. I was just a bass player that could play guitar. But in that time when he was away, Jane got to learn my songs now. Because Jane was like, she was really into this songwriting thing because she knew my songs would actually...
really showcase
her voice, yeah. So she learned Choose Me. She learned Down 999. And she learned all these songs. She could sing them, right? Because I'd be practicing every day. I used to do 8 hours a day practice. And if I got 4 hours...
Professional musician.
Yeah, I used to do 4 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon. I'd go and do whatever, come back, pick up my guitar again. And she was like, you're always playing. Like, yeah. Remember that song I did last night? Play this, sing to this. And she got into that. So me and her had this songwriting thing going there. And then when Steve got back, and Steve was, you know, doing his Joe Sample thing. And we did a couple more of those. But the record company weren't biting on them. They were like, because they put out In the Sky and it didn't bite. I think it got to 1001 in the charts, right?
2,644,763 million. Yeah, okay. But at least it charted.
It didn't get much airplay, I have to say. And the charts works off of Radio 1 and so Radio 1 would definitely get you a chart placing because everyone would hear it. Radio 1 is the only national radio station in the UK that when you play it, people in Ireland, people in Wales, people in Scotland, they all get to hear it in the British
R&B. And you know, that is what was the majority of the problem. It was that monopoly. And if they didn't get what you were doing, you didn't get airplay. So, you know, it wasn't even about your ability, your vocal or musical ability. It was about, well, if they liked what you were doing, you got the airplay. If they didn't like it, didn't get it, they didn't get the airplay. And that's why when you see all these programs about big hits, this, but big hit for who? Because what you're playing is a whole lot of rubbish to me. but
Right.
because I'm not in control,
Right.
it's
Right.
out there as a hit.
You hit it right on the head, because if they don't play your song isn't going to go up in the charts. Maybe in your area, maybe the local radio stations might be playing your song, but if you want to have big numbers, like thousands of people buying your records, you need them, and they don't play black music. And so we were stifled because of that. So we put out a song, they wouldn't play it. So then it would be number 1010, So yeah, so this is the thing. So when Steve was doing his jazz thing after he came back from tour, record company was kind of cold on it. So we was writing. We had been invited to Richard Branson's boat. Richard Branson's got a boat moored up in a place called Little Venice. It's actually it's a barge, and it's called The Barge, and it's got a studio on it.
Okay.
So this place
that's
now
down Maida Vale.
Maida Vale, yes.
Yeah.
And this place was phenomenal. Great studio. We had been on a boat, in a studio on a boat, but we loved it. So, but while we were doing those demos, there was one moment where Jane, I think Steve was playing something and he was looking for something new to play. And Jane just went, "You can pick me up." And I just started playing along. "You can pull me down." And Steve was like, "What's this?" So then I showed him the chords, and then he was like, bang on it. So then the three of us.
Because Steve can do that.
Yeah, straight in. What's the chords? Cool. And he was just gone with it. And yeah, so that was the beginning of the whole Jane Eugene era now. This is, Jane starts to sing the soul songs, and we did a song called We've Arrived. Because of the lack of success on the first song, they didn't want us to write, because Steve was doing the jazz thing, and they were like, nah. But what happened was we brought in a guy called George Hargreaves, and he wrote We've Arrived. And We've Arrived actually did get pop radio to play it. So Radio 1 played it a few times, and it got into the top 40. And now the top 40, our deal was structured 3 singles, and if one of those singles goes into the top 40, you get to make an album. So that song went into the top 40, and we got to make an album. And that is where Jane Eugene started singing those songs I wrote, them Gina Bambo heartbreak songs. And her voice is very much like her, very similar, So, I mean, that was when we did the Lookout, A Little Spice album.
Right.
We even did the little track, A Little Spice, which is an OD to what Steve was doing. And it was one of the best tracks I think we've done, Oh, baby, oh, baby. That was just great fun, And when we did that track, there was a guy in America called Scott Folks. He worked for Capitol, and I think he just moved to MCA Records. And he heard the baby, whoa, baby. And he loved that track. He literally
instantly loved it.
Signed us. He wanted to sign us to MCA Records in America, because Virgin didn't have worldwide at the time. They were just a little independent label in England doing punk rock. And this was their first venture into urban music. But he liked A Little Spice. He liked the album. He thought that some of the tracks, we could record some new tracks and stuff. But the work that went into the contract stuff, sorry, it took so long that by the time they finished all the contract stuff, we were on our second album. And yeah, because it takes sometimes 9 months, 12 months even to get all the wording perfect.
Yeah, because contracts are a whole different kind of legality that the regular person, you now need someone to represent you to go through the contract, because I don't understand what the hell they're talking about.
So and the other thing is that when the songs were released in the summer or the spring, that's when he would have heard it. So he heard it like, say, around May, June, and then he wanted to sign us. And by the time all the stuff was done, we were recording the next album, and so he said he would come down and see us in the studio. So when he gets to the studio, we're recording Hanging on a String. All right, so he's just signed this group. Excuse me. He's just signed this group, Loose Ends, on the back of them being a little jazz thing for MCA. He gets to the studio and he's hearing Hanging on a String. So it was funny because we was in there and he came in and he had, met us and everything. When the track started playing, he was like, wait a minute, what's this? We said, this is our next album. We're working on the next album. He was like, play it again. So we just played it and he was like, stop. I need to make a phone call. Right? And then we heard him in the corridor going, we got a hit. He was dancing, jumping up and down. And then he came in all silent and said, yeah, let me hear it again. And the whole day was this guy saying, man, you taking today off. I'm taking you to dinner. And he was just really, he.
So were you in the States at this time or in the UK?
We were in America.
Right.
We recorded all our albums in America. What happened was after we got past the 3 singles and an album, when we got to the album, Mick Clark had asked us, where do you want to record your album? Well, he should have never asked us that.
He should have decided. It would have been cheaper for them.
But what was lucky was one of our singles, the 3rd single, which I haven't spoken about. It was called Don't Hold Back Your Love. And the cover was, the picture for the cover was taken at Roof Gardens. And we were really scared. We was freezing up there. It was winter.
With the flamingos.
But the actual record was recorded by a guy called Pete Walsh, good producer, but he's rock. And because he's a rock producer, I think he did the Sex Pistols before he did us.
Oh,
and
wow.
In our book, Virgin really got that one wrong. Because I think he gave them some hits, so they thought, oh, we got this group called Loose Ends, you can work with them. And it didn't quite work. I mean, it was nice, but it didn't quite work. Like I had to do the guitar part.
Well, as you said, again, it was that the situation didn't enable you guys to really reach your potential.
Right. Culturally as well, it's, guitar parts being tracked up 9 times. You don't really need to do that in the R&B. He was doing that. And he was making it like Scritti Politti, like he had that vibe that he was going for, that clean, funky, European vibe. But in order to get certain things to do what it should do, what it can do, you would have to track things up a lot to make it thick. And then he had 48 tracks, and it was like, whoa, that's too much. I mean, it wasn't really that good. Anyway, because he messed that up, I think that's why Mick asked us, who would you like to record with now? And who would you like to record? So we was like, can we get Jam and Lewis? We were Anyway, we was we didn't get Jam and Lewis. He introduced us to this guy called Nick Martinelli, who was a short little Italian guy. And I just thought to myself, really? Okay, let me hear what he's done. When I heard the Brandy Wells album, I was like, okay, yeah, I love this vibe. Brandy Wells was wicked. Love that album. Vibey, And
it's funny though, because for some reason, the Italians in that era, like 70s, 80s, early 90s, they seem to get the black music. Because when you think of Malavasi with Change and BB&Q Band,
they did.
Absolutely.
I don't understand how, but because when you go to Italy, they're playing the poppy stuff. But there's pockets.
Yes, they get it.
That are really, really jazzy, really, really bluesy reggae.
Yeah.
It's really crazy, isn't it? I mean,
it's great. It's great.
So this guy Nick Martinelli had a vibe, and I think people were still a bit nervous about our songwriting. They weren't sure whether those songs that we had written were good or not. So we had to write with other writers, Ian Foster, who wrote the 5-star songs. He wrote Let Me Be the One. He wrote All Fall Down. And he was a cousin of Joanne, Now, Joanne, Steve's lady at the time, she was a designer and dressmaker, designer extraordinaire. She could just knock something up in 20 minutes, you know.
That
But,
explains the outfits these guys had for the
yeah,
album covers.
right.
Okay, it's
Yeah,
coming up, guys. It's coming.
yeah, because she knocked. I think there was one album where she knocked up some corduroy pants. It was like we had a red jumper and some corduroy pants. I think it was like
Like a brownie
100
beige,
pounds. Yeah, brown beige.
brownie beige corduroy. I
Yeah.
know, yeah.
Yeah. She made those for us like in one evening, you know, and she was and big suits, you know, when we said she could do stuff, you know.
The shoulder pads, man. This man here and a shoulder pads. You think it's joke? You think Carl was messing about with shoulder pads? Listen. And when he start jump round and the three locks hang down, style, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, those were good days. But
Yeah.
we were, where was I in this story? Oh yeah, so we were doing we were about to release. I mean, I'm going backwards and forwards now. So
Yeah. It doesn't have to be chronological.
Yeah, so I think I'm at the point now where we're just about to do that. We've done the Hanging on a String recording, and we've recorded our second album, and we've come back to England. Well, we've come back to England, and people at the record company are waving to us out the window, which is very strange because every meeting that we had in Virgin, no one
a bit cold.
who we were. Hey?
You're a bit cold.
Yeah, it was like big pictures of Phil Collins and big pictures of Annie Lennox, or, you know, people that they loved, you know.
Exactly, that were, you know, pertinent to them.
Right. But you know, we kind of felt that, you know, it wasn't a place that was, they didn't understand soul music. I think he did. Mick Clark did. But I don't think that they were together with him on that. But they trusted him. So if he said, send them to Philadelphia, they would send us to Philadelphia. So that was a good thing. We was in Philadelphia, we made these records now. And after we did the Hanging on the String, and we came back over here, as I said, it was like the record company. Well, actually, the pirate radio thing was taking off. And this whole airplay thing that we had, it was like a total opposite from what it was before, because suddenly I think I heard I think I heard my song in the car on the radio in the car that picked me up from the airport 3 times before I got to my house.
Really?
And I thought, what's going on here? Because the song wasn't released. I've just come back from recording it.
How is it out already? Yeah.
But it got leaked. The albums were being leaked from the record company. I don't know if they thought that was a healthy way to produce.
A little promo thing.
Promos, yeah, DJs. And so, I mean, they weren't even pressed. I'm talking cassettes. They were playing cassettes. And not even the finished mix, but they were loving it. So we was like, wow. So for a minute there, that whole radio revolution took us on a real journey. And when we got to America to promote Hanging on the String, we was at this place called the Red Parrot. And there was this club it was Loose Ends, Curtis Blow, Force MDs, Full Force.
Wow! You're calling names from back in the names. Full Force.
Yeah. We was on the way there. We were in the cab and it was taking too long. So we said, look, we're gonna get out and walk, right? Because we was like bumper to bumper traffic for 40 minutes. So it was getting to the point we was gonna miss the sound check. So we got out the cab and we started walking down the street and we heard someone say, there they are. And literally we had to start running. But when we ran to the actual place, it was just to the end of the block. When we got to the block, we could see that people were queuing up. And you've literally run to the queue where people are queuing up to see you. So
yeah.
Like, there they are. Like, and then we just went and stood behind the policeman because it was a roadblock. It was actually, you know, they got the blue barricade and it just says, please stop, please stop. And there's a policeman there. So we just ran behind him. Right? He was like, please, can you walk us into the club? He's like, I can't move, but I can get someone here. So we were just standing there. People were talking, pointing at us. So then we actually get into the club and we do the show. And it was amazing. I've never seen anything like it. I mean,
and even as you're retelling the story, I can see you're still feeling it with as much, as you did at the time. You're as incensed about it now as you were at the time.
Yeah,
see,
it was amazing. I mean, because
all of a sudden it was Loose End's biggest single.
Which one was?
Yeah,
it was Hanging on a String.
Yeah,
but Slow Down did as good, and I think Slow Down was really why Slow Down was, I think, maybe even better was because we had done it again. See, when you do it the first time, there's this little pause. It's like, yeah, I bet you that was a fluke, you know? Well, it wasn't a fluke. We did it again. And then we even did it with other songs that were not quite like that. So that was really the thing. But I never forget, because I think before we got signed to MCA, there was about 4 labels that heard our album and were in contention for us to be signed to them. But they passed on us. They turned us down.
Oh, wow.
And then when Hangin' on a String came out, in America, it was being played on the radio. And it was every hour almost. It was literally every... And when we went to this party, this place that we played, people were coming up shaking my hand. They were like, hey, I'm Al Matthews from Capitol Records. I didn't hear that song. That song wasn't on your tape. So talking about Hanging on a String, nearly everyone said this. That song wasn't on your tape. Otherwise, I would have signed you.
Oh.
You know, so it's just one of those things, you know what I mean? We kind of missed the boat, you know, but we didn't actually sign the contract for America. Virgin had us for the world. So they signed to MCA. They licensed the group to MCA. We didn't make no money from that.
You know, although I love to celebrate the journey and the story of it, I hate to hear these stories that, you know, were still happening even in the 90s, because you're used to hearing that about Sly and Family Stone. You're used to you know, for their work. But, you know, you're going...
Absolutely. And the thing is, our songs, the record industry, to me, it's as if it is a colonial industry, almost one of the few that are still governed with that colonial oversight, that the people that are working are going to get nothing, and the people that are in the offices,
you know,
they're going to get everything.
And that's why you guys actually need to get legal representation to deal with the contracts, because that's why a lot of people that were so desperate to get their stuff out there, they just signed. We're just so glad to be able to sign. But, you know, you realize that, well, they weren't written with your interest in mind. You know, they weren't written with your interest in mind.
And it really is like a plantation. If you think about all that sharecropping, you know, because anything where they give you the money before you've delivered the product is very dangerous, because it means that you really are at their behest. And, you know, it's a similar thing.
People think the advance is, well, we get the advance and then we still get all the rest. And it's like, well, actually, the advance is coming out of what you're going to get. So, I mean, you know, we got really shafted. I think we were, in terms of the record sales, we didn't earn any money. So we was on 3 pence per unit each. So it was like 90% went to the record company
and 91%, and we was on 3 points each, so it's 9 points. And the record,
that's what I'm saying. So you guys are on 3,
pennies,
which is 9.
Yeah.
Out of each unit sold.
Yeah, per unit. So if it was £10 for the album, we'd get 3 pence or whatever. Right? But here's the thing: the record producer, he would take 2 points or 2 pence per unit, and guess where his 2 pence would come from? Our 9 pence. Right. So I mean, they put the money up to do the record. And
but they put the money up, but really and truly that was exploitation. We all know that it was exploitation, and it wasn't even hidden. It's just like, well, this is the way it's done, this is the way we do it, and it or lump it.
This is what I mean when I say it's almost colonial. It's empire. The business is the parameters of that industry is based on empire parameters. It's like you are going to exploit people, but and the first thing they do is they dress you up and take pictures of you looking great, so people around you think, oh, he's doing well, but really and truly.
And that's why, as I say, I keep repeating myself, I know it's all about the celebration of you guys and the journey. That's what this is about. But it's also about being able to tell the truth and let people know that things are not always as they seem. So whatever you guys were thinking, because I was in my corduroy pants that my friend made overnight, and you thought were fabulous, etc., it wasn't actually quite like that. Just realize it was the image. It was an image.
Well, I was lucky because I was with 2 models. I mean, Jane, makeup artist, she does beautiful makeup, and she did London College of Fashion, I think, for a couple of years, and then so did Steve. Well, Steve's lady, she was in London College of Fashion, so they was all clued up in how to light black faces, how to make up black faces.
Because even in those days, it was like they didn't even know how to make up black faces. You had 2 product lines, and both of them made you look like waxworks. Right? So
absolutely. It was hard. But we kind of, because I was lucky, Jane taught me how to eat in restaurants, because I wasn't around a lot of Europeans. I didn't grow up in that sort of environment where you go to a restaurant and you have your napkin on your lap. Jane had to show me all that, and Tony Hall and Steve, they knew all of that stuff. I couldn't.
You learn it from wherever you learn it. Some people are fortunate enough to learn it from their parents, again, being in a certain kind of environment. And then others aren't. But you learn it wherever you learn it, and it's just that you then use it once you've learned it. That's all that matters.
In fact, you're right. But I mean, here I was having meetings in these posh hotels, and I didn't even know where to put my napkin. I didn't know how to eat certain things. I'd see certain things, like if you were eating snails or something, and I'd see these calipers, and I'm like, what's that for? And I wouldn't know the cutlery and them, but they taught me it. So I was really lucky to be with Jane and Steve. They had worldly knowledge from but I was the one that was I was in groups, so I had a different experience. I had that musical.
And the point is that all of it came together to make.
All of it came together,
That was loose ends. So where are we now, Carl? What is happening? Because a little birdie's told me that I'm going somewhere tomorrow night. And then another little birdie from over there told me that I've got to go somewhere on Saturday. So we need to talk about, let's start with tomorrow night.
Yeah, so hold on 1 second. I've got a bit of hay fever going on.
Oh, me too. Join the club.
Yeah, it just started since the weather's changed.
Yeah.
I think I've got rid of that. It's like a warning. You're going to sneeze.
Take your antihistamines when we finish this interview. Yeah, that's what it is.
So, so at the moment we're doing live shows, and we're working on this album. I've been working on it since lockdown. But I put out one song off the album, and it didn't really do that much. I think I made £300, right?
I love his honesty. It's taken me a while to get him here, but I love his honesty. It's just, yeah, you know, fantastic.
But it was fun. It was fun putting out a song again, and so we're still working on that because I know this is the 37th year of Zagora. Yesterday was the 37th year of Zagora release.
Right.
Soon it's going to be the 35th year of the Look How Long album. So there's lots to do. But in the meantime, we're going to be doing shows up and down the country. I think on tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a show in London at the Boysdale restaurant.
I hope you know where you're supposed to be tomorrow, because he's like,
I actually don't.
Well, tomorrow, I think
No, honestly, I am like that. I literally have a lady called Sinai. She tells me where I'm going to be, when I'm going to be there. And she's literally holding me together. She tells me all the stuff that,
right,
uncomfortable stuff, and all the times, and if I was bad on stage, or if I was, you know, she's the one who
really
tells me.
She goes there.
Yeah.
She goes there. You go.
Well, I'm trying to, you know, better myself. So every bad gig, it has to be a conference. It has to be a debrief. There has to be someone. And, you know, I do like people around me that don't think like me. Because if they think like me, I might as well have done it myself. So
yeah, you know, and the thing is, as well, there's that thing where you say, sometimes you have to appreciate how other people see you, because how you see yourself is not necessarily how other people see you. And maybe some other people's opinion of what's going on is important. And you don't want to surround yourself with people who are going, sycophants who are going, yeah, Carl, you were great. Oh, yeah, that was great. When it wasn't.
Yeah. That's not professional to me. That's okay if you're, you know, you're in a certain setting and someone might like your fan. But for the professional people around me, the people that are actually working to make the shows better, they have to be more critical, because when something goes wrong, there has to be some kind of talk about what went wrong, how can we fix that, and how can we stop that from happening again. So it is all of that. And the lady, Sinai, she wrote the Look How Long album with me.
So you've known her from back then?
Yeah. So what happened when Jane and Steve left the group, I had to, I was in the middle of doing demos for Jane and Steve.
Right.
The whole breakup came because I had an argument with Jane and Steve, because I was in the studio on my own for like 10 months. And I had this huge, but I was like, what the hell are you doing? What?
Where are you guys? Where have you been?
And then I've got these not wannabes, I wouldn't call them that, but they are fresh.
Yeah, we'll edit that bit out.
These fresh kids in the studio with me, they're saying like, when are we going to meet them? And they were writing, you know, and it didn't happen. So I was really upset with Jane and Steve. And then what happened was Jane and Steve, one of them must have gone to the record company and said, I don't want to work with him no more. But they didn't realize that what I had. So when the record company called me in and said, what's going on? I hear that you lot are breaking up. I said, well, I ain't breaking up. We had an argument, yes. But there was no breakup, because I'm working on it. He said, what was you arguing over? I said, well, I'm working on my own.
I'm arguing over the album that I've been working on for all of us, and they haven't been here for 10 months. That's what we were arguing.
That's exactly what it was. So he goes, what album? I said, whoa, this album I'm working on. He said, let me hear it. So then I played him. I think he heard Look How Long, he heard Love Controversy, and Don't Be a Fool. And he was like, oh, hold on a minute. We're Jane or Steve on this. So I said, no, that's what the argument was about. He was like, okay. And then he said, all right, let's talk next week. Then on the Monday, he calls me up and he goes, send me some more music. So I sent him Time Is Ticking, Symptoms of Love, Try My Love, and Cheap Talk. And then he was like, okay, well, let me know when Jane and Steve do get on the album. So every week we'd meet up and he would say, are they there yet? And I said, no. You know, and then this went on for about a month. And then he said, he called me in and he said, you got more tracks? I said, yeah, I've just mixed Don't Be a Fool. I've just put the drums on it. I changed the drums and I was really in my element. I was enjoying myself. And he was like, Carl, are Jane and Steve on this record yet? I said, no. He said, let me shut the door. And he went and shut the door and he said, you're going to have to continue on your own. These people that you've got, these people should go forward with you. Jane and Steve, I don't know what's happened. They've, you know, it's not going to happen. You've been coming in there for a month trying to sort of sell this thing that you're still together, but I know they know. They're going to hold you back if you keep doing that. So just have it on your own with the new people. So that's where Sunai, Linda Carrier, it was her birthday. That's her birthday today. Linda Carrier, she sang Don't Be a Fool, and she sang Time Is Ticking. So yeah, she was on it. My missus, Christine, she sang background vocals. Just basically friends.
It just changed completely, metamorphosized into something else. I know I keep repeating myself about the serendipity things and things are preordained, but things happen exactly how they are supposed to. Whether we get it, whether we like it, might not be the plan that we had, but the plan for us is already there.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
The plan for us is already there. It doesn't always go with how we think it might, but it's doing what it was supposed to. You know, it's doing what it's
supposed to. Words. So that was it, really, the story. So moving forward to this now. So at the moment, I've just been working on the new album, working on doing little shows and practicing again because I was a producer for a long time.
But it's beautiful, Carl, that you're keeping it going. You've got live shows tomorrow at the Boysdale. So if he doesn't know where he's supposed to be, I'm just letting you guys know. Loose ends are at the Boysdale Canary Wharf tomorrow night.
Okay.
And then at the end of the week?
At the end of the week, we're going to be with Lee John. I'm not sure what that is, actually. I think that's the O2. Isn't it?
This guy's scaring me, you know. It's scaring me.
Yeah, I think it's O2.
I can just see Lee sitting backstage now going, well, where's Carl? Where's the opening band? Carl,
no, don't worry.
You know, I'm sure it was tonight, or was it tomorrow?
At the end of today, Sunai will
make sure you're there.
You'll come out with a big hammer.
You too. When you see that, Loose Ends supporting Legion Imagination.
I know.
And it is two guys from major UK bands that are keeping the legacy of the whole band alive.
Yeah, because Lee is amazing. I mean,
he is like a train. Lee does not stop. You know, Lee, don't you even need to stop to refuel? No, I don't have time to refuel. I just have to keep going. But Lee, you're running on empty. No, I'm not. I'm fine. Right, and then you get a call. Yeah, I've just taken a day off in Spain because, you know, and then I'm back on tour in France and Portugal. And you're going, how the hell are you doing this?
And he gets up 5 a.m., goes swimming. This guy is really
very inspirational.
Huh? When you go to see him, you can tell he's enjoying himself.
Yeah.
He's not there because of the money. He's not there because he's getting paid. You know, sometimes it happens, but you know, this not with Lee. And you know, this guy he's spinning, he's jumping up and down, he's singing.
Oh, yeah. And you're thinking, where is that energy coming from? Because this is he's actually moving better now than he did the original Imagine back in 82 and 83. You know, going,
absolutely.
Where the hell does this energy come from? But you know, it's really great to see two leaders in the music industry. He's pretending to be so modest, and you know, come on, you know, you are keeping the Loose Ends legacy alive on your own.
I'm trying.
And Lee is doing the same with Imagination. So it's great to see that you two will be together and supporting each other. You know, you're in for an amazing show at the O2.
Wicked, yes. People will get a wicked show
on Saturday. An amazing show. Yeah, and of course, before we close, we cannot forget the wonderful brainchild of Junior and Don E, the British Collective.
The British Collective.
Come on. We cannot pretend that didn't happen. We can't just, you know, gloss over. That is one of the biggest things, I think. Not bigger than you all as individual artists, but I think the beautiful spirit of those guys thinking, well, you know what? We should do something together as a brotherhood.
Yeah. I've actually, because I was in the original lineup, and I've actually got so many songs that the public haven't heard with me, Noel, and Junior, and just in my front room, and movies as well, where we was just
footage, footage, because the lineup was Omar, you, the late great Noel McCoy, Donnie, Junior, Lee. Was Paul Johnson in it at one stage?
Yeah, he was in it, but he didn't. I think he did record a little bit, but he didn't stay around. I'm not sure what happened with him, but
what I love is, because I know you all as individuals, I got your music as individuals, so you're all friends on a personal level. Been following your music for years. When you all sing, I can say, yeah, that's Junior, that's Carl. Well, I mean, Donnie kind of announces you. He goes, tell him, Carl. But, I can say, yeah, that's Lee. That's Omar, because Omar sounds completely different from anyone.
Completely different from anyone.
But it's lovely that was a generous brainchild. It's like, it's not just about me. It's about all of us as a brotherhood and the Black music industry in the UK. So, we'd love to hear more from the British Collective, but I know you're busy guys in your own right.
I've got a couple of songs that I'm going to put them on my album. And it will be with them. They'll be on it. All right. So they definitely got to be on the Loose Ends album, because Junior keeps on roping me. I mean, not Junior. Donnie keeps roping me into little projects. I think I've got a song out with him now. So
there we are. Everyone wants a piece of Carl, so I guess that's why he runs and hides. Sometimes he's like, I can't take it. This is overwhelming. Just give me a minute to, I get it. Sometimes it's a bit overwhelming, but you know what? Thank you for finally coming to talk to us here at the BTM Club. It's wonderful. And I've taken up more than enough of your time.
That's all right, B. Anything for you, my friend. You are just...
Finally anything for me after about 5 years, but we won't go...
As soon as I heard, as soon as it came up that you wanted to speak with me, because I don't do interviews, I might do one every now and again. And most of the ones that I have done, someone's talked me into it, and I didn't want to do it. And then I've looked at it, and I thought, nah, I'm not doing no more. And then you came along, you were like, I was like, Sinai.
You hear the beautiful story, and it's like, I don't have to necessarily research everything. I just want it to be off script. You tell your story in your way, whether it's chronological or not, because it's about you being comfortable to come and chat to me, right? So,
thank you for having me, B.
We are supporting your journey, and we just love to see you. So you will be seeing me tomorrow at the front door. Go, Carl! Go, Carl! And Michelle Cross, I can't believe.
Yeah, Michelle Cross Glasgow. You know her?
How well do I know Michelle? From college, from 16, 17.
Really?
Yeah.
That's my girl. Michelle Cross is such a brilliant professional. I mean, she really is.
And versatile. She just does everything.
Everything. She can do soca. She can do reggae.
Yeah, she does it all. Yeah. She was backing Satara, Lorna G.
Oh, right, Lorna G. Yes, that was wicked.
Yeah. So she's gone from singing Prophecy to singing Prophecy on Sunday to singing a string on Thursday.
Yeah, she can do that. As a matter of fact, I think last weekend she came with me to Manchester. I think she did her own gig on the Sunday, and then she came to rehearsal on Monday. And she's working as well, She does a day job as well. But
she's a little.
When you see her car, you get it. Right. Oh. Okay. So
I have to make sure I feel this done.
she's a clever girl and she works
Oh,
hard.
she always was, always was. Yeah, one of my favorite people on the planet, I have to say.
Yeah.
But listen,
All
Carl,
right.
wonderful to talk to you. I will see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
At Dale, and
Yes.
may as well see me on Saturday at the O2. Who knows?
All right. Look out for you, B.
Yes.
All right. You take care of
All
yourself.
the best. Take care. Bless.
Bye.